Good morning. This is my wife's 2020 Hawk 250. I'm going to show you how to replace the back tire tube and how to install a rim lock. So the reason being is, I don't know, we might have sent her a little too hard, or regardless, the rim span way too quickly for the tire and the tube, and it ended up shaving off the valve stem. So it could have been because of low air pressure or just because, I don't know, faulty parts. This is the stock tube. I do recommend putting in a much tougher motorcycle tube, but we have all of our parts right here. We have the rim lock and we have the heavy duty motorcycle tube. I'm gonna include both of those in the description. Okay, so step one. The RPS Hawk back rim doesn't come with a hole for the rim lock. A lot of bikes do, this one doesn't. So what you actually have to do is you have to drill through the rim itself. Drilling through metal is easy if you know how to do it. Just slow and steady pretty much. I'm gonna wash the rim off before I do all of this, and a lot of people like to mount their rim lock closer to the valve stem so that there's less chance of it moving. Some of them like to mount it further away. Personally, I don't think it makes a difference because regardless, you're going to have to rebalance the tire no matter what if you plan on going over 40 or 50 miles an hour. Some people say they don't feel it. I'm just going to do it anyways. I don't have the weights on me right now, but you can pick them up at any AutoZone or little stick-on weights at Walmart and stuff. It's really not that hard. Maybe a few minutes depending on how much pressure you put on it. But I've chosen right here where the valve stem is, relatively close, but not too far. Alright, so that didn't take too long. So to take off some of the burrs and little metal shavings, what I'm going to do, it's not completely necessary, but I'm going to utilize my Dremel, and it'll maybe help make the hole a little bit bigger too. So what the rim lock is going to do is once you install your tube in your tire and you manage to finagle this inside, it's going to hug your tire against the rim so that it stops your tire and your tube from being able to shave your valve stem off. A lot of pro motocross racers have to install this because their rim will always spin faster than their tube without this installed. Before you mount the rim lock and everything and the tube and all that, first you want to get the first bead of the tire seated to the rim. Now you don't need any like heavy machinery like a Jim Beam car tire mounting. It shouldn't be anywhere nearly as difficult as a car tire, but usually people struggle with the last part. I'm just inserting something like a tire iron in just to get the last piece over. And now we have the first bead seated, and we can start putting in our other hardware. Next step, make sure it's not the hole for your valve stem. Make sure it's your new hole that you drove. Take your rim lock and squeeze it through the rim. And gently feed the threads through the holes. Alright, rim lock's just hovering in there. I gotta get the threads through. Lift up on the tire a little bit if you have to. Alright, so now that you have your rim lock threads through the rim lock, take your nice new tire tube and then give it a generous amount of air, not too much, just enough to give it some shape and form to help you when you're feeding it through the tube to the rim. I mean, really, it doesn't have to be too much. Even that might be a bit much. A couple more. That's about really all you need. Take a generous amount of baby powder. If you have it, it's not entirely necessary. And just kind of massage it over the tube. As far as the baby powder goes, there's no really like right or wrong way to do this. A lot of people like to use a lot of people like to use a little. It's just preference, honestly. And then begin feeding that into your rim. So make sure that the threads of the valve stem are right here where you're squeezing the tube in. Alright, so just a little bit of trial and error while I've been mounting this tube is make sure you push the valve stem through as one of the first steps so you don't have to go fishing like me and then pull it through. Anyways, that's what I'm in the process of doing. I'm probably gonna go get like a little scribe or something, a little screwdriver so I can push it over. And then to reseat it, you're gonna wanna fill it up with air once, and then take some air out, and then put in the proper PSI. And just like that, with the help of my little scribe tool, I'm not sure if you guys have one of these, but yeah, I mean, you can pretty much find anything to mimic it, maybe like a wire hanger or something. I was able to pull the threads for the valve stem up, and we're gonna finish mounting the rest of this tire. Alright, so the tube and the rim lock are all loosely installed there, finally. Little easier said than done, but it took me only maybe like 15 minutes. Some people like to put the nut outside on their valve stem, some people don't. It's a preferential thing. I'm going to. And as far as your rim lock goes, washer on the outside, and then your nut. Always remember to wash your nuts. Alright, now that our tube and our tire is fully mounted onto the rim, we're going to fill it with some air. So now that we've adjusted our chain and everything, brought our wheel back, have our rim lock and our new tube installed, I'm going to test the back wheel and see if it can put up with a good amount of abuse. Can I try the ice?